But yeah, try Hawaiian.
Say hi,
Sai. It's so good. Huh? Oh, hey.
Okay. All right, Sai. So we are heading to this singles mixture. We're heading to this singles mixture, and I want to we're going to talk about this later, but like, what are your thoughts about the episode 3 from last night of the singles house? Like, what did you think?
It was really good. It was really insightful. It was awesome how honest the guys were.
Mm-hmm.
So that's refreshing to see that they were being so honest about, like their past and their future and how they're still getting through, their struggles with abstaining from sex. Mm-hmm. So that was it. They went deep.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
I agree. It was good. I was like trying to remember, like, do I remember any of this? And I don't think we were anywhere near them during that conversation because they weren't around, when we spent some time together. So it was good to hear their perspective.
Yeah, I was like, where did everybody go? Because usually we were like lurking in the background in the kitchen, walking around, making too much noise. And then I was like watching it, and I was like, dang, I wonder where we were.
I feel like Vega must have kicked us out.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a solid 30 minutes, and I'm sure it was longer than that. So, but no, it was good to kind of hear their thoughts, and I really feel like they should consider a podcast together. And I joked about that, but I'm not joking about it because I feel like they are all about building men up and really like, meshing with one another. And I know Caleb kept saying iron sharpens iron, and I do think men need like a strong community, and maybe they might be the ones.
Yes, that would be awesome to see a podcast with those guys. Like, they have so much insight and so much wisdom already at their young age. So, I mean, they could make a huge impact on a lot of people, a lot of young guys especially, and that's what's needed.
Absolutely agree. Okay, so Sai said you had some more things that kind of come into mind thinking about the episode 3 last night. So, what else kind of resonated with you, or like just really made you feel like there's hope in finding somebody one day?
That's exactly how I felt watching it, and I feel like a lot of people are gonna feel super hopeful after hearing, all the stuff that the guys had to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because nowadays it's not that often that you hear men, speaking about their purpose and speaking about holding themselves accountable,
right?
And trying to stay on track, and they're letting it be known that they're not perfect and they've had their slip ups and they're still trying though, and that's the thing. Also, I feel like that's gonna be eye opening for a lot of women to see that men are smarter than what a lot of people give them credit for. Like, when you're in a relationship with somebody, like, they know what they're doing, so there's no excuses, there's no reason not to hold men accountable and move on with your life if you see that they're not trying to better themselves and they're not trying to get themselves together even before you guys start dating. So just hearing what they have to say, it's like, if these guys are capable of it, then you already know all the other men out there are capable of this. So it's going to also give, women a lot of hope,
Oh, I agree. I agree. I felt like it was very refreshing to be around them and hear their perspectives, and like, it really did give me hope. But at that age, it was nice to hear them, so focused and intentional.
Yeah.
And, both wanting to be married, and they didn't say it, but like they want to build something with their partner. So I enjoyed that. I like MJ dropped 2 quotes that I just really loved. it's a slow leak still causes damage, and you can't be a king if you're a slave to your pleasures. And I was like, oh, come on, MJ. It sounds like even, at the end, Lex comes in and he's like, he's just waking up. And the one thing he remembers after waking up is like, that's what I learned. And I felt like, obviously the guys had a really good conversation in the man cave. So, the ladies were not a part of that. But it was so good just to really hear them talking about like their struggles and not feeling like they have those safe spaces, which we kind of talked about in the prior episode. Like, men want to, when they share something with you, they don't want to feel like you throw it back at them, so they really don't feel like they have any safe spaces. But then also, like, they really are trying to do something to have an impact in this world. And I think Caleb said something about, you're not perfect, but the goal is to strive to be perfect, and that's how he lives his life. And I feel like their purpose, they're very clear on it, and that's going to make them be a very effective leader when they do get married. I think so.
Yeah, and it was awesome hearing them speak about how they, they're able to recognize what their weaknesses are, like whether it be social media or things like that. Like, they're able to recognize that and then actually take action and move away from it, and find other things to keep their minds occupied and stuff, because men, they deal with their desires I guess a lot differently. It's a lot harder for men, the way that they're built, to resist temptation. So just hearing that they've come up with like other options and they know what works for them to get back on track, just taking accountability, like, that was just awesome to hear.
Yeah, you're right about that. The accountability, sometimes some people lack self-awareness, and I think we all do, and they're so in tune with themselves that they know like when they're their strongest, when they're their weakest. Now, they talk about getting up at 4:30 a.m. and I'm still struggling with the early mornings, but like, they know that when they have that solid routine, when they're going to the gym, then that helps them to be even stronger. So that was really good to hear as well.
They talked about fasting also. Both of them talked about fasting. That's something that I want to try out. I don't want to dive into it, but I do want to try that out, to reap all the benefits of that. So that was just amazing.
Yeah,
that they're putting in all that work, to stay consistent for themselves, and also for like their future wives and children. Like, they're trying their best. So we have to, applaud them.
I actually like that they both talked about the discipline of fasting, and MJ does it once a week, which I know a lot of people who like have specific days where they just fast. And I've done some extended fast today, and I'm going to tell you, it sounds like it's like, oh, I just, and you said you definitely want to like step your way into it. You don't want to do a 3-day just out of nowhere. But what I experienced is the clarity piece, you feel so much sharper. You know what I mean? Like, when you are fasting, and that's with water or without water, which without water they call a dry fast. Girls, so much on YouTube you can learn about that. But yeah, I do think it brings you a lot of clarity when you don't. And you really, once you don't have it and you get used to it, it really doesn't bother you that much. But to your point, absolutely, the discipline that they both have is great for 28. For me being 36, and them being 28, like at that age, I was really impressed. Yeah, really impressed. Okay, so it has been, I feel like I met you 2 months ago. I think that's the time frame. And a lot has gone on, I feel like. So how do you feel now that you've had the experience in the singles house and you go back to the real world, and where you don't have the guys that were in the house around you, or you meet them, but like from your experience, what do you feel like, has anything changed, or even a different perspective after spending time with the cast?
For sure, definitely more hopeful. Just it was a really, really good experience. I learned something literally from every single person in the house. It was a great time, but also it was like a lot of reflection going on between all of us, and we were all like giving each other such great advice and tips just about life and everything. We just gelled so well in the house, and so I think that's why we all were so sad, like leaving each other. So just getting back to like the real world, yeah, it's been different because I don't know, I just feel like it's so rare to meet like-minded people that have good intentions. So just getting back out here, and I don't know, it's like a mixture of like, oh man, but at the same time it's like hopeful, because you're like, man, if this is here in our house and we all came together like this, then it's still out there in the world. So we don't have to just give up on hope and give up on these guys. So yeah, but it was a great experience. I loved it. Like we all just clicked so well.
Yeah, I agree.
Like instant friends.
That's exactly like what I feel like. It was like a group of friends hanging out. And I know in some of the comments I saw, I think I saw some people thought it was a dating show, and I don't. What'd you do? Me coming to the house, it wasn't really about like trying to find a partner. I was open to meeting everyone and just hearing the different perspectives, but it was just like a group of friends hanging out. But it was weird because we just all meshed very well, very quickly. And I don't know if I know it's not the norm for me, and I don't know if that's the norm for the others, but like we just instantly, became very comfortable to even open up about a lot of things, which was good.
Yeah, it was cool. Because, some of us are introverted, and then some of us in the house are extroverted. But even for extroverted people, like, it's hard for them to just, like, come out, and just give their all to something like this. And you don't even know how it's going to turn out. You don't know how you're going to be perceived. And you don't even know how the people in the house are going to perceive you. So for it to work out and us to be so natural with each other and just flow like that on the first night after getting off the plane, and sitting down at dinner and just talking like we were a family, like, that's awesome. And I feel like it's so rare to have that type of connection with people. So like nobody was putting on a show. Everybody was just being themselves. Like we all felt comfortable enough to kind of like let our guard down a little bit, and it was just such a great experience. Like I'm so happy for all of us involved. It was awesome. And yeah, so like the thing about it being people thinking that it was like a dating, a dating show, like it was none of that. It was no funny business, no hookups, no dating or anything like that. Like this is literally the singles house, as in single people coming together, and you're gonna listen, you're gonna be a fly on the wall and hear what we have to say about our lives and us being single. So it was awesome.
And even like me being in the house, I felt like at times I was a fly on the wall, because there were certain conversations that I wanted the guys to talk about, but to like just listen in. Or if one of the guys said something, I was like, I feel like this is a good response for another man. So knowing when to kind of like, all right, this may be not something for me to jump in, but being a fly on the wall and see how they communicate and really hold, one another accountable, because they've talked about accountability too, but just their mindsets and being able to relate. I felt like a fly on the wall at some point too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I even learned stuff from the videographer from Vega. Yeah. So like literally every single person in the house, we all had our own personal conversations with each other here and there, and we had our fun in between and hung out and stuff. So I learned something literally from everybody.
Yeah, you're right about that. Vega was behind the scenes, but very well in front of the scenes, because he had a huge impact on a lot of things outside of just the production. So shout out to Vega. He's still coming through. So definitely shout out to him.
He's the reason I opened up. he's the reason I opened up a lot more. He gave me such great advice on just life in general. So that was awesome. I didn't expect that, you know, from him. I thought he was just gonna be filming us, and you know, that was about it. But no, he came through.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Sai and I are here at KISS for this singles event. How you feeling, girl?
I feel good. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
We're gonna have fun.
Yep, KISS Dallas. Yeah, it was a good vibe, good time.
Yeah,
for sure.
it was fun.